Alright, so we got another Patreon request, and this is a top 10 list. And this one's pretty unique because this is the first time I get to do some theater stuff here and there. Or should I say musical stuff? I count it as theater. So this comes from a Patreon supporter, Gordon Rajani. I'd like to thank Gordon for his continued patronage. And as always, if you'd like to have a Patreon video done, just hit the link below, head on over to my Patreon, and just hit the 4th tier where you guys can send me requests and check out exclusive content over on that end. So this is a top 10 list of top 10 theater productions. Well, while I did grow up a theater kid, pretty much, but I basically was it hurt my wrist right there. Anyway. Sorry, I lost my train of thought. Basically, I was into more musicals because my family has a very musical-centric background. So for this, I'm going to be doing my top 10 favorite musicals, and this is just my personal list. This is just my personal preference, and for any of the other people out there who enjoy musicals, please let me know if you think something should be... let me know your list. I'm always excited to hear your list. This is just my personal list. Anyway, so let's get started with top 10. To be fair, there are 2 on here that don't really have stage performances yet. Although they do have stage shows. They don't have full-on musical performances. They're more from movies directly. But that's how a lot of these started. Anyway, let's get started. Starting off at number 10, The Devil's Carnival. Yeah, Devil's Carnival, I think the trilogy has ended now, but I think I'm putting all 3 together. Because, did you ever think that we would have a musical that would literally have Clown from Slipknot, Emily Autumn, Ivan Moody from Five Finger Death Punch, Tech Nine, and Sarah Brightman from musical backgrounds, and Ted Neely, like people from Broadway and metal and rap musicians were all together in this. It's the most bizarre thing, and it actually, like, you'd think it would flounder and fail, but oh no, this thing comes off so perfectly. It fits so seamlessly, it almost makes you mad that it works. Like, it almost makes you kind of mad that this all comes together so well. It's kind of upsetting, isn't it? Like, it's just a tad, just to piss you off a little of how much you like it. I think some of the best songs are in the first one, but on a whole, it is a very well put together story and a very well put together series. So, Devil's Carnival at number 10. Next up is at number 9, we have Rocky Horror Picture Show. I grew up with this one for ages, and I was probably too young to see this movie. I was probably too young to see this movie, but yeah. This movie is cult. If you want to look at a cult film, look no further than Rocky Horror. This movie is known, of course, for The Time Warp, Sweet Transvestite, and those are the 2 everyone knows, and they're back-to-back. But really, this movie and this whole musical is something. Like, that's really all I can say, is it's something. And yeah, it's definitely a Halloween playlist. Like, definitely those are on Halloween playlists, and also that the show in of itself is definitely makes the Halloween circuit. So yeah, so there you go, number 9, Rocky Horror. And yes, I am looking at my phone because I wrote it down. I wasn't going to remember this all in one place. So moving on now to our number 8, and number 8 is Les Miserables. Now, I know what you're thinking. Les Miserables, that's like a classic musical. That is a very refined, very beautiful musical. How can it be like at number 8? Well, again, it's my list, my rules. Secondly, I have to be in the right mindset to at least stomach the music, because this is the biggest emotional ass-kicking you will ever undertake if you watch musicals. This will beat you down just aggressively of how fucking depressing this whole musical is. Not to say it's bad. I obviously have it on my top 10 list. But you have to be... Les Miserables is something you have to be in the right mindset for. It's not like you're going to be like, hey, I'm going to listen to Les Miserables today and do it again over and over and just wear myself out mentally. The live-action movie I've looked back on not too fondly. I remember that it was one of my favorite movies of that year it came out, but then I look back on it and I'm like, God damn, what was I thinking? Anyway, the musical itself is very well done. It's bombastic, it's beautiful, it's also just a beautiful story, and again, you just have to be in the mindset to appreciate it. Because, good lord, this will knock you on your emotional ass. So there you go, Les Miserables. So moving on now to our number 7. Number 7 is Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. I'm pretty sure a lot of you who are watching this have probably seen this musical, or at the very least seen an MLP animatic using the Confrontation song. That song goes everywhere. That's been in like 30 different goddamn kinds of animatics. This is a very well done music video, and I think it's one of those music videos where you think there's no way it could have worked, but lo and behold, it actually does work, and it's actually very well put together. I do like the James Barber version more than the David Hasselhoff. Why the fuck say Dustin Hoffman? The David Hasselhoff version is, I think, good, but I think James gives a much amazing performance and is easier to switch between Jekyll and Hyde. He makes it so fucking seamless. It's brilliant. It's nothing short of brilliant. I do love Confrontation. I will say that I think This Is the Moment is probably my favorite song because it's so uplifting, and at the same time, you know, the moment he finishes that song, it's just hell from here on out for Henry Jekyll. So I really do like this this musical. It's something I came around to because of YouTube, actually, and it quickly rose through my list. And I would have put it higher, but I was kind of thinking the next 6 were definitely ones I enjoyed a bit more. So moving on to number 6 is Beetlejuice the Musical, and I already hear people going, "Really, Beetlejuice? It's so new. It seems like you're just kind of aping off of this," and yeah. Now, to be fair, I wasn't even expecting to like the Beetlejuice musical at all. Like, the moment they announced a Beetlejuice musical, I was like, this is gonna turn out dumb. This is bad. This is gonna be like the American Psycho musical level of bad. And then I listened to it and I watched the show, and it's actually pretty good. Like, it's definitely become one of my favorites real fast. I think the composition is beautiful. I think Alex Brightman definitely makes the Beetlejuice character his own, and I definitely think if they ever do a new Beetlejuice animated show, which God help us, because Warner Brothers just took over Cartoon Network fully, and I'm dreading the future of that show, of that whole animation department on a whole. But if we ever got a Beetlejuice animated show, Alex Brightman would be great to be that character. In fact, he actually voiced Beetlejuice in the Teen Titans Go crossover. Yeah, that was a thing. Anyway, I'm getting off topic. Beetlejuice musical, I had no expectations for it, and it blew me away. That was... anyway, so Beetlejuice musical at number 6. Now we get to the top 5. And at number 5, we have Repo, the Genetic Opera. Yes, I know, this is from a DVD, but hey, half these things came from movies first, and then went to Broadway. So who's to say Repo won't get that treatment? Actually, I know it won't, because it's pretty graphic. Well, what do you expect from the people who helped make Saw? Right? Like, what the fuck did you expect? I think it's a excellent film. Again, it mixes theater people with modern day musicians and Broadway people. You had Sarah Brightman, you had Alex Vega, you had all these. Even Paris Hilton does well, which I never thought I'd say. Yeah, Paris Hilton does a great job in here. It's definitely got a great aesthetic to it. It's messy, it's dark, and a lot of the songs are graphic, but they are so well done. Yeah, it's an amazing piece of work. So Repo is definitely at number 5. So next up we have Phantom of the Opera. Were you expecting this not to be on here? Yeah. So Phantom is definitely, I think a lot of people know the musical more than the original Lon Chaney movie and the other movies that followed in the past. Phantom is a musical that I have seen in theater. I have seen this, in theater I mean like on stage performance. It was actually a beautiful performance from Broadway that came to Orlando, and it was amazing. They had the chandelier crash onto the stage. It was a very well done experience. I was very happy to go see it. Phantom is just a staple of just when you think musicals or Broadway musicals or loud musicals, you think of Phantom of the Opera, which for good reason. I think it's only next year is when I think next February is when it's finally closes shop for being I think the longest running musical to play at Broadway. Anyway, so there's our number 4. Now we got into number 3 spot, and that is Jesus Christ Superstar, which I find funny that literally number 3 and 4 are Andrew Lloyd Webber creations. I didn't think about that just till now. It's like, oh shit, the 2 Andrew Lloyd Webber creations are back to back. Jesus Christ Superstar has been part of my family for the longest time, whether it be the Ted Neely movie or the modern version that was kind of weird. I've seen this twice on stage, both with Ted Neely, and it actually had the lead singer of Living Colour play Judas. While I am not a religious person by nature, I do appreciate the message. There's some brilliant songs in here, and I think that it's definitely something to appreciate, of telling a very weak and like emotionally vulnerable Jesus in the final days of his life. I think that's really cool. Sorry, I lost my train of thought. I've done like 4 videos today. I'm tired. Anyway, so moving on to number 2, and that is Little Shop of Horrors. Little Shop of Horrors is so much fun, whether it be the movie or the Broadway. Feed Me Seymour is definitely my favorite song. It's fun, it's goofy, it's also got a bit of darkness to it and just sci-fi action. It's just fun. Like, it's definitely a lot of fun, and I never leave watching the movie or the performance on a bad note. Like, I'm always happy. And now we come to number 1. And my number 1 is Tommy by The Who. Yeah, literally the musical made by the rock band The Who. Tommy was the first musical I vividly remember listening to, because my mom would play the 1992 Broadway CD on loop for weeks, so it got ingrained in my head. And I think it's probably got some of the best songs I've ever listened to in a musical. I think it's got some of the best composition, stars, all of that. And it kind of gets thrown to the wayside. I don't understand why. I thought it was brilliant. I think it's just absolutely brilliant in all ways, shape, or form. So I don't understand it. I don't understand why people don't forget it. So yeah, Tommy is my number 1. If you've ever, I know a lot of people are like, what? Who? Exactly, The Who made this. So yeah, go check out both Tommy and the other 9 ones if you haven't already, if you want to check out some musicals. So yeah, I know some people are thinking, why didn't you have this one on here, or why didn't you have that one on here? Well, again, it's my list, my rules, and I never have any ill will towards anyone who doesn't have who thinks something on here should be higher or lower on the list. That's totally fine. I'm always excited to hear what you guys have to say in the comments below. If you have like 10 musicals you really enjoy, just comment below, let me know. I'm always excited. And yeah, I know Hamilton isn't on here. I'm going to say the biggest hot take I've ever said in my life. I think Hamilton's a little overrated. Not to say it's bad. I'm not saying it's bad. I just think it's overrated. I know, very big hot take. My girlfriend literally was like, thought I was like, she looked at me like I committed a murder after saying that to her. Oh god. But yeah. So you guys tell me in the comments below, what are your top 10 favorite musicals? And once again, thank Gordon Rajani for his continued patronage, as well as this video. But other than that, hope you all enjoyed this. Mr. Multiverse. I'll see you next time in the Multiverse.